Hey there everyone! Welcome back to another exciting video for the Shibarium community and its partners. I'm Cezanne Shib, and my mission is to spread knowledge and positivity within the Shibarium ecosystem. This video is the 31st of all X-Space Weekly DAO Update series. This X-Space was held August 22nd, 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another K9 Finance Weekly DAO Update Spaces, live and early for the 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time edition of our weekly get-together for K9 Finance. Week 31, according to the title up top, it says Weekly DAO Update number 31. We're in the dog days of the summer, y'all, at least in my part of this hemisphere. I don't want to speak for everybody, but that's what's going on here. It's summer, kids are going back to school, you know, the yard's burned up and stuff like that. So I thought we'd get together and talk it out here. We're a week past the East Toronto get together. Everybody's had their time to unpack their bags and do their laundry, and we're going to unpack what they've all had to go through as well. So not just laundry, but emotions today on the weekly K9 show. Now, as we always do, we're going to line up a great series of speakers for you, people from around the community, people who have been working on things in the community. You can either request a spot to speak, which is a great place to be, or if you can't speak, you can comment in the bottom right. Comments are the oil of the spaces. They lubricate the machinery if you can. So right on there, comments down below, tag people if you're trying to talk specifically to people, use the @ tags. It's helpful for us. And that's how you can participate. You can also make sure you share the spaces. I know in the K9 group, they already know about it, but if you're in the ShibTech Discord or in one of the auxiliary or satellite groups, make sure they know that we are live here so they can join us too and get the live version instead of the recorded version. Shout out to the recorded listeners. And emojis are still free. They're on the house. They let us know what you think of the show. So tag along and make sure you check the pin posts as we go through things, and we'll see what everybody's doing. Now, of course, I'm just Pulse Digital. I'm up here in the K9 spot. I get to co-host the show. I'm never speaking on behalf of K9, always making my own silly comments and stuff up here. And we always prefer Buzz if he is available. Buzz, thank you for joining us on another Thursday show. 31 weeks in a row, still cooking, bro.
Consistency's key. Thanks, Shane. Happy to be here.
Good to be here too, man. We're going to line up all the other speakers. Adam came up for a speaker spot. He's next on my list in no particular order. Adam, how are you?
Doing good.
Turtle, mic check. Are you around?
Yep, doing well. Have some pretty heavy storms here, so if I drop, I'll try to come right back. But don't count on me too much.
Oh, I'll ride the storm out with you, man. Wow, I'll be your REO Speedwagon for this one. Organized, I got you a speaker spot. You're here. How are you?
I'm doing good. I also have some interesting connectivity stuff in my city today, so I'm hoping that I will be clear and easy to hear, but if not, then I guess we'll find out. Fingers crossed.
Sounds good to me for now. And then 2%, I'm counting on you loud and clear, right?
Super loud and clear. I've been doing phenomenal. I'm just playing whack-a-mole with Twitter Spaces to see if I can keep my survivor streak going.
Yeah, man, you're loud and clear. It's like you're sitting right next to me. It's an auditory experience. And then Shima, you may or may not be at the mic. I don't know if you're always there when we get you up, but how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm here this time, and I'm doing great. I'm actually outside touching some grass, but hopefully it's not too noisy in the background for you guys.
No, man, I can't hear you touching any of the grass.
A lot of cool updates.
I can't hear any of the grass.
A lot of cool updates.
The grass is not loud at all over here. Buzz, I want to give you the first opportunity, as we always do, to kick off and see where your mind's at, because I've got a list of things that have happened since last Friday. Remember, it's only been 6 days since our last get together, but I've got a list, but I'm curious where you're ready to kick it off.
Yeah, just really excited that we were able to get the testnet launched, and be eager to hear from members of the community who have gotten their hands on the testnet. If any members of the community are here who have gotten their first opportunity to test it, it'd be great to hear some feedback and let the community know what they think. And we also went through the hackathon submissions today, so I know Shima will be speaking in regards to that. There's some probably 5 really strong submissions that we're excited about, but I believe that there were 31 total submissions to the K9 bounty in general. And we, of course, have our DAO voting live as well. I'm sure that Turtle will give some updates on that. I know that for another round of voting, we have smashed the quorum, so we're continuing to be a very, very active DAO, and many members of the community are voting, which makes us stronger as a community. But most of what we're working on is really planning on the September 18th date. So it's been heads down and a lot of work this week.
Cool, man. You only ripped up like 35 minutes worth of news in 5 minutes, so I'm going to make you regurgitate all that at slower speeds for everybody. You went through my whole list. Why you got to be like that, man? I want to talk about Testnet first, because you asked people about if they've experienced Testnet to come up and speak. I've been reading the chats where people have been doing the Testnet, and I know you have too, because you're playing tech support in some of these things. Can you explain to some of the people that may or may not have participated, or if they don't know what's going on, what it is to get Testnet ETH? What is Testnet K9 and stuff, because these are terms being thrown around. I'm not sure everyone that's reading them knows. So since we're here on Spaces, what does all this testnet stuff really mean?
Yeah, so I also want to give a shout out on the topic of tech support, Couch Adventures, who has been amazing in the community. Not sure if he's here, but he's welcome to come up and talk about his experiences there. But he's really been helping myself, Turtle, Shima, and the rest of the team in helping to organize a lot of the suggestions and little bug reports that have been coming in. So certainly deserves a round of applause from the community for all of his efforts. But to answer your question, what it means to get all these test tokens is that when you're interacting on a test network, it's the same as interacting on mainnet. You need your Ethereum to transact on the testnet of Ethereum, and you need your bone to interact on the testnet of Shibarium. So the setup time to getting going on a testnet is often cumbersome for people who are doing it for a first time. But they're basically fake tokens that you can mint to be able to use the testnet environment. So when you're getting set up on the K9 test network, you need to first get Sepolia ETH, and then you need to get test bone, and you need to get test K9. So there's a couple tests for the setup. I think Turtle's done a really good job of putting that into our docs and trying to walk through step by step for people to get it done in an easy manner. But Couch Adventures as well, another shout out, has made some great threads on X, but he's also posted some very helpful videos in the community for those people who may be doing it for the first time.
And the reason I focus in on this is we talked previously about how there's going to be a small amount of people that do the testing that benefits a large amount of people, because once the thing goes live, there are going to be people that use it that will have never tested it. And these are the things. I'm glad you acknowledged that it can be cumbersome to get onto the testnet. And you talked about how that can be weird, which is going to be a barrier to entry for testing, which is why I wanted to bring it up here. So if there's anybody that's out there that's still been hesitating to do testing, they are willing to walk you through this. This is not something where you're going to be thrown in and expected to go figure out how to do all this, I would call paper trading or fake trading. I'm not trying to make it sound worse, but remember, it's all testnet trading. You mentioned minting tokens to get started, and you said you called it Sepolia ETH. Sepolia is a separate chain. That's the name of the chain, right? So you have to go get this ETH from somewhere. How are you guys handling the distribution, or where are you sending people for that?
There's 3 different places to get it. There's probably 10 different places that you can get Sepolia ETH, and like you said, it can be cumbersome for people to get started. But I also want to give a shout out to Sizen, who every Saturday actually starting last week, he did I want to say a 12-hour live stream showing people how to use the K9 testnet. But he's going to be doing it every Saturday until Bone Crusher launches on September 18th. And you're welcome to join his live streams on YouTube. He's also live on X. I believe he said that he's going to be doing a live stream on Facebook as well this week, but we'll be tweeting out tomorrow the exact schedule for that. I've already personally retweeted the schedule for when he's going to be live this Saturday. But oftentimes, if people do need Sepolia ETH, and these different sites, they have different ways where they make sure that it can't be gamed, and there's enough Sepolia ETH to go around for for everyone, not only of course in our community, but the ETH community at large, and there's different requirements. So sometimes you might have to have a little bit of ETH in your wallet. There's different platforms out there that require you to do some tests. There's different platforms that require many different things just to make sure that it's not abused. But I would also recommend, if you know that there's someone in the community that has been testing and it's not working for you, to get Sepolia ETH to maybe reach out directly and say, hey, like, can I have a very, very small amount? Because it can be cumbersome to go back to that. And some people may get frustrated. I've seen some people in the community say, oh, like, I can't get set up. Like, I'm just going to wait for the product to launch. Like, that's when I'm going to use it for the first time. But I would really urge people to try the testnet. And it's not just for testing K9, but I just think it's a great educational skill for people to take with them beyond K9 as well. And just with K9 specifically, from what we've seen of people who have been testing very regularly, they've started to come up with their own strategies of how they want to use K9 and how they want to maximize rewards there. So it can be a really great strategic planning session for yourself too, and just a way to ask more informed questions in the community of how you want to maximize using K9.
I wanted to give you ample opportunity up front in the spaces to highlight that, because for two reasons. It's super important for the developers and the people that are working on this to have the testing volume so that you guys can continue to make a better, more streamlined product. It's also important for the community to do this because this is the gate smashing that comes with the retroactive airdrop that we've talked about so much. There could be incentive to doing this. It's not that we're just asking you to do this for no reason. We're not asking you to do anything. We're hoping that you would choose to do this, and that by choosing to do so, that things that we've talked about, like these retroactive airdrops, don't go unnoticed. So a little bit of work going into figuring out faucets and test ETH and test K9 and test Bone, but hopefully on the back end, what you get is not just maybe a retroactive airdrop, but it sounds like what's happening underneath your feet right now is the formation of the first K9 Alpha trading group. Question mark, mic drop, subject change. Scene.
Before we start to change there, I'd say if any of you really believe in crypto, another great reason to go through the work of setting up the testnet is because it'll familiarize yourself with the onboarding process that I'm sure you did years ago. But really getting onto a testnet is no different than your first journey into crypto, where you had to go and fund your wallet with ETH somehow. But the great thing about the testnet is it's all free, so you don't actually have to buy that initial ETH or buy that initial Bone to be operating on Shibarium. So going through this setup process will help remind you how to, still the hurdles we have in the industry in terms of onboarding the layman user from Web 2 world. And it'll also familiarize yourself with the process so that you can help onboard your friends into crypto and really help change their financial futures. Hashtag not financial advice.
Appreciate that, man. And that's a good wrap up at the end of that too. I have another subject I want to go to. Turtle has mentioned, and we already heard that there's some snapshot voting going on, but I have a very specific subject that I want to get into, because this is one of our to be continueds that I promised that we would come back to. And this is a great place to do it, because almost everybody here that's on the speaker panel at one point or another has had a public opinion about this. Funk and Shima and everybody. The Ape Bond is now being assessed. We had some conversations going on, and I don't remember who was taking part in, so forgive me if I don't mention who was talking about it. But now the discussion has been about, like, hey, how was it? Will we do it again? Would we want to do that again? And that's how I want to kick off the forum discussion. So I want Turtle to jump in on that first, because he's the front lines for these types of forum discussions. But now that we've been through this, where are you at with all the Ape Bond discussion?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the Ape Bond did fully sell out. It was a little slow to start. We were a little hesitant and uncertain about it, but we did see excitement kind of build over time as people became more aware of it. I think one of the goals was to attract new holders from maybe the Ape Bond community. And what ended up happening is really diamond-handed whales tended to come in and scoop up the bond, which really is great, I think, because the tokens are going to the right hands and they're, people with conviction in the project. But I do think there's more evaluation required. I know the roundtable wants to take a closer look at kind of what happens when the bonds are fully unlocked as well. What kind of sell pressure is there from those holders, et cetera. So I think it's still an ongoing discovery process. Their team has been super kind. They've provided some detailed reporting. They, of course, have encouraged us to, go forward with the full amount. But as usual, we're going to continue to, tread carefully and try to make the right recommendations for the DAO. Ultimately, it's up to everyone who's here listening and is a holder. But, Buzz may have more opinions to share or want to opine on that some.
I want to be the last one to go. Buzz, you go. I want to be last. And then I want to hear from Funk and everyone else too on this because it's a good question.
Yeah, there's a couple things that we're analyzing, and one is just the return on equity that the DAO was able to receive. It was a little bit lower than the Ape Bond projections. I think it was still very successful. Like, we were able to add liquidity to our pair on Uniswap. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Turtle, but somewhere in the range of like 8 ETH that we were able to add in liquidity there, and that was just a small tranche. So as a community, we voted for more K9 to be offered on Ape Bonds. So just the nature of this discussion is, hey, we started with a small tranche. Do we want to continue with the rest that was approved by the community and by the DAO? At first, when we put the bond out there with Ape Bond, we were a little bit, like Turtle said, just not really advertising it within our own community, because we wanted to kind of gauge, hey, like, how's K9 going to be perceived over there? Are we going to be able to attract new holders to the community? And we certainly did. But then, just as our community does, they're always sleuthing around and finding things online about K9. So as soon as our community, and specifically the whale chat, I believe, kind of found out about Ape Bond and how you could potentially purchase K9 at 10%, or even at some points, I think it was as high as a 30% discount, it got ate up very quickly by the whale community. But we were initially, like I said, not wanting to advertise it within our own community to get new holders, but then we started to analyze, and we have been analyzing these bonds unlocking, and what we're seeing is they're not being sold, and they're being held, and a lot of large holders in our community used it as an opportunity to increase the size of their position in K9. So I think that was a net positive there, but still waiting for some of the bonds to unlock. If anyone in the community did participate in Ape Bond and really liked that campaign, I'd encourage you to voice your opinion in the community as well, just so that we can get some more information there.
And what I'd ask Funk then, because you guys both mentioned that it was more internal community than maybe external that ended up buying it up. Funk has got this marketing outreach look on things, and we're trying to bring people from the outside as much as anything. So from your perspective, Funk, what do you think about that when you hear that maybe more people from K9 just doubled and tripled down on their positions? How do we handle outreach if it didn't come from there?
Well, I think that all crypto marketing is going to hype your own community to buy more than it is going to get external people buying. You could say frowny faces or happy faces about it, but it is part of crypto marketing. Is that when you're hyping things up and people are speculating, people that are inside a community, there are Bitcoin maxis, right? They're going to be K9 maxis. There's going to be Matic maxis. It doesn't matter. They're going to be loading up their bags any way they can because they believe in the product. And your goal as a brand is not only to reach new people, but also to basically build the value case and really sell everyone on the product and the future that you're trying to build. Of course, it's important to not necessarily say things like financial advice, or you're not directly trying to get people to over trade or over speculate. But as you market, the people that are in the know, the people that know every single intricacy and detail and are the biggest fans of your project, are going to be looking for ways to get more at a lower price. So at the end of the day, of course, the goal is to get external people, to get new people into the community. But a byproduct of marketing is getting the people that are in your community, or maybe in your community and sold out, right? Or maybe in your community and have small holdings and want to double up. That's just part of the game.
Good points. Fair enough. And then I heard Shima that he mentioned almost 8 ETH added to the liquidity for numerical purposes. Is that an exciting number for you? Is that in line with your expectations? How do you feel like that went?
I'm going to throw this back to Turtle. I've been 2 heads down in other infrastructure and hackathon and things for the past few days that I actually haven't reviewed the Ape Bond results yet.
Yeah, I mean, as far as expectation goes, it's basically in line with what we wanted to see. And we're always looking to strengthen the liquidity on the Uniswap pairs or on the Shibarium pairs, right? So I think long-term vision, finding ways to strengthen the liquidity when the price is in a good place, from a project perspective, I think it was a success. I think we've yet to see what the results are once those tokens are distributed. It doesn't represent a huge amount of selling pressure or anything like that, but it'll just be interesting to kind of see the result. Yeah.
Since you mentioned it there, my final thought on this would be that if there were to be another round, I think the discussion about the liquidity being targeted for Shibarium is worthwhile. So that would be interesting to think about next time around. 8 ETH added to Uniswap might be a drop in a pool, but a larger splash perhaps on Shibarium. So something to think about.
Yeah, no, that's good feedback, and I think we're looking at increasing the liquidity on all the pools constantly. It's something Buzz is always looking to do. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the next round would go if we were to do it.
Now, I took a traipse through the forum before we started the spaces, kind of looking at what was going on through all the windows. If you can close your eyes and picture how that looked. What's going on for you since you're over there on the forum all the time, scouring and cleaning the streets for everybody? What's new for you?
Yeah, a little bit of a slow week with everyone being away at the conference. Our most active users were out in Toronto, enjoying the weather and the party and the dogs. But there are a few things going on. So the slashing penalty on vesting changes, we've talked about it for a couple spaces. That is live on Snapshot. It should be done within the hour. It's 230% roughly over quorum. We just always are surprised by the number of people actively voting, even with being bridged to Shibarium. So we've consistently increased quorum, and it keeps getting smashed. So we're going to take a closer look at that for the next round of votes and maybe bump it up a little more aggressively. But yeah, that change looks like it's going to go through. Would take a miracle for it to go the other direction at this point. There'll be a tweet that goes live once that's done, and then there's a interesting proposal about integrating Visa and Revolut for like a buy integration. I think ShibaSwap or Shibarium website added that recently for Bone. If the folks who submitted that proposal are listening, I think Cezanne, you're the one who submitted it. It would be helpful on proposals like this to have that extra layer of detail where you've gone to that team or maybe spoken with whoever is responsible for that integration on the Bone Shib side, and maybe bringing the actual price point or connecting us with that person. We do like to see proposals like that, but it ends up kind of leaving the legwork on the team to go do the exploration, which might slow things down, So if there's any connections or additional detail you guys can add, I think that would be super helpful to get it reviewed at the next roundtable.
All important stuff, and it's also good to get live feedback like that, so I'm sure he's taking notes. I know how diligent he is about stuff like that. Remember, forum.k9finance.com. It's Thursday. We drive up activity every day live on the forums to get Turtle excited. So if you have not signed up, if there's even one person in here yet that has not signed up for the forum, today is the day to do it. Please, let's bump those numbers up. Treat it like it was your bag. Let's pump it for Turtle. It gives him and the guys over there something to do. So please take part. Go comment if you haven't. And I'm saying this after having weeks and weeks and weeks of using it. There are some subtle things that I have come to like about that software. As a guy, like I've said, that used a lot of forums, I do like how easily it serves up the things that are new since you last logged in. I think it makes it easy to catch up on the stuff that you've missed, which is crucial because user interface, it's easy to kind of miss things. And it doesn't hit you with the push notifications or anything too abrasive, but it definitely lets you know when you're there, like, hey, here's what's new, here's what's relevant. So it makes it very easy, and it is the next layer to participating with K9 Finance. I talked to so many people when I was at ETH Toronto, this is such a fun conversation because I was there representing Bad Idea. We have a DAO. We were there talking about Shiba Inu, which is supposed to be a DAO. And then K9 has a DAO, and I kept repeatedly telling people, there's no more functional DAO in this entire convention than what K9 has, and go ask them about the forum because it showed the layered structure that's actually required for governance. And I'm sure they a couple of people at the booth because I said, go ask about the structure, go ask about the roundtable and the management councils that are in place because it is more robust. And I would say this right to the SHIB account's face because I would not hesitate to. It's more robust than anything SHIB offers. It's more robust than anything that, as far as I've seen, anyone on Shibarium offers. It is the ecosystem model for how it should be working. So before I get off here, forum.k9finance.com. Go do it up, please. Now, I'm going to pivot. I want to give Funk an opportunity, and I would also, if Matt were here, give him a chance to, because I think he's been working on this, to talk about StockTwits, because StockTwits has been a recently new thing that's been integrated, and that's right in the wheelhouse of what we were talking about public outreach. And I know that Funk's got the experience on StockTwits because we've talked about it and stuff. It's been a week or more of cooking over there to get things trending and stuff. Funk, how do you feel like the main chat has been reacting to StockTwits and rating over on StockTwits?
So, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'll give away the secret sauce, but I do got to give a shout out to our friend Neo over at Bad Idea AI for some of his expertise with this, as well as my compatriot A1, for those of you guys who know him over there from CoinMerge Technologies. Are both kind of, in my opinion, the ones who kind of taught me the ins and outs. But ultimately, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, they've changed the way that they do trending for quite some time. I think they've moved it to basically like weekends only. Cryptocurrencies are more likely to trend. It's easier to get them on weekends after 5:30. So sorry if I'm giving away our secret sauce to anyone, but that's when we're doing the raid, Saturdays and Sundays at 5:30. And a big part of it is just message volume. But in order to trend, you also need to get your chart and ticker up there. And we finally did a week ago, and that was huge for us because now we can trend. And so last Saturday, we were trending number 1. Which was a really good start. But again, with any type of marketing, frequency is important. And maybe when people see what's this K9 thing trending, number one time, they don't buy in, or maybe a lot did. You know, it's hard to always tell the metrics. Where is volume coming from? Where are new holders coming from? Obviously, our holder count's increasing month over month, so the metrics are good on that. But where is it coming from is another story. But historically, it's worked really, really well. And every Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be trying to hit a raid with that. I got to give a shout out also to a community member named E. And he hit the StockTwits with like 30 or 40 messages. Those are the kinds of things that get you trending number 1. So big shout out to him. We threw him a reward. We will be rewarding the most active StockTwits members. So if you're listening right now and want to help us get trending number 1 this weekend, Saturday and Sunday after 5:30 p.m., we will definitely find you and give you rewards if you're the most active raider on StockTwits. So
very smart to take advantage of that, because traditionally stocks, trading during business hours, crypto doesn't know no business hours, man. It's all Red Bull and late nights. So that's very smart of you to strategize that way, and appreciate Neo, and it was A1 you said from CoinMerge, the two of them working together to help us out on that. Very important to work smarter and not harder. Work hard when you can, but work smart first. So appreciate everybody. You said, who was it? E? What's his name? Shout out that dude again. E? Is it just E?
Yep. It's just, he's got like an @ that's a little bit longer, but I just see him as the E. I don't know.
Everybody, round of emojis for the E dude in the Telegram, and maybe the message will get back to him, because we want to make sure we positively reinforce that. We've talked before about how important it is to find siloed professionals on each platform. I have literally talked about this, about how I do X, and how Matt does Facebook, and Crypto Queen does TikTok. Like, everybody's going to have their one thing, and if we can naturally encourage, if Funk has already found a guy who's hitting that hard on StockTwits, we absolutely want to encourage that behavior, whether that's socially by just applause, or whether that's finding a way to make sure that he's getting community sentiment some other way. We really, really need to foster that type of stuff, because otherwise it's going to be you guys that has to learn how to write StockTwits posts if he quits doing it. So it's easier to clap for the guy you want to keep working. Is the secret sauce. And no, Funk, I don't think you're giving away the secret sauce, by the way, when you mentioned that Neo and this other guy A1 helped you from CoinMerge, because that is literally the only secret sauce there is, man. We're either going to have to learn it ourselves, which is the sly way of saying I GPT'd it, or we're going to lean on people that have that experience. So, man, I do appreciate Coin Merge and Bad Idea, and I'm not just saying that, because those teams, we do have chats, and we do chat back and forth and ask questions. Crimson is in here. Crimson crosses lines back and forth between LTD, and we learn from them, and we learn from what's happening at other places, and that is literally the way it has to work. So there's nothing wrong with spilling the secret sauce from there. StockTwits is a big deal. I also want to shout out Cezanne. Buzz already did it, but this is so important for him to be doing the streaming too, since we're in the mood to throw flowers at people's feet. Doing that YouTube streaming is crucial, and not just that, but he's running the YouTube channel where they turn these spaces into shows for everybody over there too. So these are the specialists on a platform. He's over there taking YouTube to another level, not because anyone has asked him to do it, but because, you know, he saw a need and he said, this is my skill set and I will apply it here. So we need so much more of that. We need to make sure we lift people up that do stuff like that. So I'll get off my high horse for that stuff. Buzz was busy yesterday, as was Funk and Turtle were there as well, for another Mario Roundtable X Spaces. This, of course, is Mario in the Fall and the big show over there at the big account and stuff like that. I want to give you guys a chance to kind of decompress and recap from that, because you guys have now been on the show enough times. I think this is like number 6. Maybe I'm wrong, 5 or 6. And barring the internet disruption and the rug that happened, I'm just kind of curious what your viewpoint is after having this many opportunities to be on there, because now you kind of know the format, you kind of understand how the conversations are going to go, and also better what to expect, you know, from your chat, from your chart and stuff like that. So Buzz, recap for me what your experience was like on another Mario show.
I really enjoyed it. I thought that there were some other very esteemed speakers there, very knowledgeable speakers. There were some who were VCs who we've been able to connect with. It's a great networking opportunity to be part of Mario's spaces as well. So every time we're there, it gets more people who hold crypto, who have a large network in crypto, to become aware of what K9 is and what we're doing. And I think the feedback, at least that I got personally, was that K9 was very well received, and that Shibarium was well received as well. I think the parallel between Tron's takeoff right now, which is you seemingly cannot miss on X, to what Shibarium would have to do to get there, I think resonated with a lot of people. And I'm sure that we'll talk more about that here on this Spaces today, but would be eager to hear from others how they thought that the Spaces went, and how together as a community we can represent K9 even better next time.
Funk, what do you think about it, having been there a couple of times now and getting a chance to listen to the format and stuff?
And, you know, the thing is that recently I've been learning a lot about what makes the show good, and you would have more insight even on this than I do, but I love the topics of conversation, the natural conversation. It's not just a big shill tank where projects kind of present, and being able to create that organic conversation where people are generally interested in the market as a whole. And yeah, they might all have their own products and motives for being there in terms of their own growth, but you know, keeping the conversation interesting for the listeners and relevant to the greater market schemes is kind of great as well. And yeah, it was fun. I don't think we made any subtle digs at Tron, but maybe some subtle digs at Tron were made. I don't know, I'm just kidding. But some people were interested in talking about Justin Sun, polarizing opinions on Tron. But I thought that we got in there and were able to talk about Shibarium and able to highlight it as a major player in the space. And we'll see, you know, if that bears fruit in the long run, reaching those large audiences.
I don't think you need to be afraid to take your shots at all. Did you see that he's going to be on the show Monday night with Mario? Yeah, Justin's going to be there. Now, I don't get to host that one, Funk, so I can't guarantee anybody's a speaker spot, but best bet when that announcement came out, I got a few messages from people asking if I could put him on. So if you want to go and take your shot, man, go raise your hand, get in line with everybody else who's, you know, got the tomatoes standing down at the front of the theater ready to throw them.
Nah, yeah, I don't actually have that much shade on Justin's son, but I just in general have shade that Shibarium's not the #1 layer 2 blockchain yet. Like,
no, I get that too. And Justin did jump up and in the middle of like a lull in what was going on and kind of take the highlight. I appreciated how much you guys were willing to talk about it too. The thing I've talked about with Buzz and with all of you, I think, is that the importance of being there is being part of the conversation, not being the conversation. I know that sounds so simple, but whether K9 is there and being talked about, or K9 is just there contributing to the conversation. It was Funk in the K9 account. It was Buzz in his solo account, and Turtle. These guys just get to be seen. They are being seen, and they are seen being smart. And that is what is important. Funk had some great opinions. Funk was able to throw down on a couple of questions as the K9 account that were wholly unrelated to K9. And the best part is he didn't immediately try and swerve the conversation to K9, because as he mentioned, it's important to know, who you're talking to and what you're talking about. So I think you guys did great. I'm looking around at people that might have been in the audience. I know Maya was there. Maya, I don't know if you got up in a speaker spotter, but Maya's been to thousands of Mario shows, and she'd be able to tell you what a good Mario and a bad Mario show sounds like. How did you think? Were you there yesterday when K9 was on, Maya? You were there, right?
I think so. Hey, hello everyone. Yeah, I've been to pretty much all of Mario's shows. I know him for a very long time. We met in Dubai first time, and then in a lot of conferences. Yeah, it was great, but I was actually on a call, so I can't remember a lot from the show. But of course, I doubt it wasn't good. It's always good with Mario's shows.
Now the boys pulled up. We did good. It's a fun conversation too, because they don't know whether you guys, half the time, what's funny is we've done meme coin shows and then we've done utility shows. I don't know if they know what bucket to put you in. So when the Shiba account rolls up with us, when you guys show up and like Shiba Inu is in like the trench coat, they don't really know how to handle that, because they're like, shit, we wrote utility program. And this is obviously they're showing up with the meme tokens. So it's fun because from the backside, they get a lot of enjoyment from having the crew roll up like that. So
yeah, it is a meme coin, but it's actually a utility coin. So if you look at the roadmap and everything that Shiba Inu is doing, it's a lot more than a meme coin. So it does fit the bucket.
Yeah, but people figure it out every time. Every time we bring up Shibarium in one of those shows, someone is literally learning about that for the first time. We have to remember, I always say, we have to remember that inside the echo chamber, we think everyone knows about this stuff, but I've had so many conversations where people did not know that there was an L2, and they certainly don't know that there's an L3 or what's going on with any of that stuff. So never take it for granted that as we go deeper and deeper that people forget. What is it in Inception? You have to have is it a totem, Buzz? That you have to kind of check yourself back to reality every now and then. Never forget to make sure that you're going deeper and deeper into that. Turtle, you were part of the show yesterday before we switched subjects here on the back end. You also got asked a couple of questions. I thought you did great, man. How did you feel the show went?
I thought it was great. Some of the Mario shows get a little hectic or a little too many different topics, but that one stayed really on theme, and I thought it was a timely theme, like Buzz mentioned. Kind of how does an L2 take off and what does it take? And there was also a lot of really intelligent and professional speakers yesterday, two from different VCs asking really good questions and providing good insight. So as you mentioned, I think being in a position to be seen, as peers in those ecosystems and environments goes a long way for K9 over time. It was definitely a good one.
I would wager, you guys don't have to tell me, but I bet there's a couple of DMs that come in after you guys get done on the K9 account or on the Buzz account. I'm sure you guys get a few messages, and those are the real connections that you don't even get to tell people about. But hopefully those build up. You get some behind the scenes networking, and then we build on that. So I appreciate you guys doing such a good job at the show, because like I said, I've been to plenty of those things. You guys know I host them, so I've seen some bangers and some stinkers. It can go either way. I think you guys did good. Next time, what we need though is I look around the room here. Any of you guys that wanted to get a chance to get up there, because this is the kind of thing where some days it's full speakers and some days it's not. But Crimson and Adam, if you ever want to come up, I know 2% you're there, but Entropy, if you ever want to try and pull up next time we get a chance, it's always a good opportunity. It's never just about K9. It's a great chance to shine. Anyone in the K9 community can come up. It'd be cool. As we close in, Buzz, I already know what you kind of want to talk about for the corner today. This is kind of a great opportunity to swerve, because half of what got talked about yesterday was already some of this subject. Buzz wrote a post already and alluded that this might be the subject. Are you ready for Buzz's corner today?
Maybe not yet, because I know that Entropy did have a few things that she wanted to get to as well. Just wanted to open up some time for her to speak too.
Sure.
Awesome, thank you. So I just had a quick announcement for everybody. So as some of you may know, and some of you are about to find out, we have outreach forms on our website for anybody who is interested in working with the K9 project. And I wanted to let everyone know that we're going to be starting our next round of replies to these forms next week. So anybody who is interested in volunteering or partnering or, media and press, being a brand ambassador, all of those things, there are forms that you can fill out to get that information over to us, and we'll be responding to them. We will respond to every form as we get to them. So you'll hear a reply from the team. And yeah, we're going to put up a tweet with the links to all of those so that they're easy to find. But the power of this community is really amazing. And we want to make sure that anybody who has a skill or a talent or, you know, a connection that could help K9 grow, that you guys have the opportunity to do that.
That's awesome. And where did you say it was one more time?
So we're going to post a tweet. We're also going to post the links in Telegram, and then it's on the website already. We're towards the bottom of the website, there's like a get interested button, and then it opens you to the different forums on the website.
Get interested button. So if you're already looking for it and you can't wait for the links, check out the website. Scroll down. Get interested. And there, Buzz is personally. Did you say that Buzz is personally sending handwritten letters to every entry? That's amazing.
Yes, in cursive writing, actually. It's really a beautiful thing.
That's amazing. K9 will never stop going to any links for its users. I can't believe it. Hoodies and handwritten letters. It's next level what we do. Appreciate you, Entropy, for coming in and bringing up the announcement for everybody.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Buzz, if you can take a minute and stop writing your letter, is it corner time now? Oh, I swear.
Yeah, I think we could get to the corner. Just give me 1 second. Somebody came to my door, so I gotta answer it, and then I'll be right back.
Oh, you don't want to answer your door mid crypto rant for the Amazon guy? Come on, the DoorDash guy needs to learn about liquid staking. If you haven't tried to shill someone that came to your door, by the way, because remember, sometimes when they call or they come to the door, they're kind of forced to listen to you. So if they start calling you and you don't want to just be like, hey, have you ever heard of K9 Finance? It's the newest liquid staking product on Shibarium. It's a partner for Shiba Inu. Just go into the rant and see how long they will sit there, because they can't hang up on you. It's a rule. It's a rule. And you never know. Maybe they're really upset with their bank, or maybe they've heard about the product or something like that. So never miss an opportunity to show.
On that note, yeah, I actually talk about crypto on every single cab ride that I have on Uber. So yeah, take any opportunity that you have to
see. That's what I'm talking about. And then you write it off as a business expense too.
I was out at a restaurant one time, and the table behind me, I heard them talking about Sheeb, and I was like, oh, should I talk about this? And they were just like, yeah, it's like this was right as Shibarium was coming out. And they're like, yeah, it's this meme coin. And I'm like, I'm going to be that person. And I'm like, did you guys say that you're talking about Shiba Inu token? I actually know some stuff about that. Did you know that they're coming out with their own layer too? And it was like a whole thing. And I was with my mom, and my mom was like, also, she's very into Sheeb. She's not very technically savvy, but she loves Sheeb. So she's like a little cheerleader in the background. It was very funny.
Yeah, I've onboarded my mom to crypto through Shiba Inu. She's been staking for a very long time. So let's go, Shiba.
Mom squad.
That's a big feat. My mom still calls crypto monopoly money.
Oh no, my mom is very crypto. She knows more about NFTs than pretty much all the crypto bros.
My mom is in the middle.
I have tried so many times. I've just tried and tried to explain it to her. She's like, it's just.
Crimson's auto-rugging on me. Crimson, are you still there? Can anybody hear me, or is that me rugging?
I can hear you. I can't hear her.
All right, we lost Buzz, and I think Buzz on the way down might have clipped Crimson's wing. Crimson, am I 5x5? Can you hear me?
Crimson, can you hear us?
I think we lost her. Buzz, are you there? I see you back up here. Are you around?
Yeah, I am here. I think it's just because I went off my Wi-Fi and then back on. Should be good now.
All right, Crimson's collateral damage. Crimson, you're going to have to step down, back down, and back up, because what I was about to ask you about, because you and Maya and Entropy were going, do we need to start a Your Mom and Crypto Spaces? I will do that. I will
would love that.
I will do that. I will not do it on the K9 account because I assure you I will not be able to maintain my professional composure. But I will I will do Your Mom Loves Crypto in a Spaces, and we could absolutely figure out a way to do that, because it cracks me up when you guys talk about that, because everybody's probably had these conversations at home, and that is a funny thing to joke about. But the distance between Maya's professional NFT mom, who probably has like merch, and Crimson's Monopoly Money mom, there's got to be a way to bridge that gap. That's a whole nother show that we don't have time for.
Yeah, I spoke at NFT NYC, I think 2020, and she was handing out a lot of like my merch, my business cards, and pretty much a lot of OG cryptos. I already know my mom in crypto.
That's nice. See, now I feel like I'm not an OG because I don't know Maya's mom yet. I got to get on the inside circles.
Let's go.
Buzz, are you free? Is the man at the door gone? Did he get sick of hearing about liquid staking on Layer 2?
Yeah, that's the issue. But I got he connected to my Wi-Fi, so I was able to steal his private key. So we'll use his ETH to get him onboarded to Shibarium.
Use the clicker thing. That's funny. Poor guy, didn't even know it. He went to the wrong house today. So hit me with the corner, because I'm ready for it. We got about 15 minutes before we got to get out of here.
Yeah, this is obviously a huge topic that kind of blends from just like my thoughts on what's going on in the market right now. Being that, a lot of people know that I'm relatively bearish on the number of meme coins that are being created. I don't think I'm bearish on meme coins in general. Shib started as a meme coin, so that should say a lot. But I just pinned a tweet by a really popular crypto Twitter account, and just in the last 24 hours between Pump Fun and now Sun Pump, there were 14,000 new tokens that were created in 24 hours. And if you look at the market, maybe in past bull cycles, there were not nearly as many tokens being created, and it's creating this capital dispersion, and a lot of people are losing money. There's another tweet that I put out earlier this week that highlighted that 60% of people who have been using Pump.Fun have lost money, and only 0.5% of people using Pump.Fun have made more than $10,000. So this is really a game that is rigged for insiders. It's if you're not on the inside of a meme coin, it's very difficult to be profitable right now, and that's what the data is showing. I don't think that it's a healthy position for the market right now. We're onboarding new people into our industry, and oftentimes they're getting onboarded because, just like Maya's mom or Entropy's mom, they want to buy a cute token. They like the picture of the cat or the picture of the dog, and to be playing these games and this insider manipulation where only a few people are winning, we're potentially ruining a lot of people's experience the first time that they're ever coming into crypto. I hear so many great stories about, I got in to Shib, and then I made some money, and it was a great experience, and now I'm working in Web3, now I'm getting involved in other projects, I've gained more skills through it, and that's an opportunity that is potentially going away when we're kind of, as an industry, just not onboarding people correctly and onboarding them to things where they're losing money and losing money for something that's an insider rigged game. And it kind of ties into what we were discussing on the Mario Spaces yesterday with Tron's explosion. So for those who didn't see, Tron has hit all-time highs. And I put out a tweet of, well, why did Tron all of a sudden hit those all-time highs? And to me, it comes down to two key points. It's liquidity and utility. It's when you look at what happened on Tron, there was billions of USDT that were minted on Tron, and then Sun Pump started to get promoted, and people started to share Arkham Intelligence links showing the amount of money that was on the Tron blockchain, the amount of money that was being made on meme coins, the market cap of these meme coins, and Justin Sun really ran with it. And I think that mixture of having this additional liquidity with that utility and him playing off of that was an ingenious marketing mechanic. And he's certainly a business savant in his own right. You can have your opinions of Justin Sun. I know that there's people who love him and people who hate him, but it's relatively besides the point. He was able to create this very, very smart intersection between that liquidity and utility, and then hit it with the marketing where they were not talking about what was going to be built on Tron. It was no longer a, hey, come to Tron because in the future we're going to do this type of conversation. It was, come here now, look at the metrics of the liquidity and look at the metrics of some of these utility projects and what they're doing on the Tron chain, namely Sun Pump. And I kind of made a parallel to, well, those are the catalysts that really elevated Tron in the last few days. Like what do we have going on that's could do something similar for Shibarium? And of course, I don't know if there's anyone on Shibarium that has a wallet the size of Justin Sun to move over and have really great Arkham intelligence reports, but we do have Treat launching coming up, and we know that that's going to be a reward token to give people higher APYs in DeFi products and in games and things like that they can play on Shibarium. There's of course K9 launching, and the mission of our product is to help bring liquidity and TVL to the chain so that we know that that's one side of the equation which really helped Tron blow up. I don't think that K9 is the only project that's going to bring more liquidity to Shibarium, but it's certainly a product that is built to do just that. We know that there's multiple development teams, not only with the hackathon that we just went through the results, but also teams that have reached out to myself to potentially collaborate or integrate K9 into making a meme coin launchpad like Sun Pump or Pump.fun. And speaking of liquidity, we do know that Shib raised $12 million to really amplify the ecosystem. So I think that there's a lot of really great things to be bullish on the horizon, but the thing that I'm most bullish on is just not necessarily one person like Tron has, which is Justin Sun, who's going to be spearheading this, but very bullish on the entire community and the entire community of builders and the potential catalyst for what may be on the horizon for Shibarium.
Those are all solid points. I appreciate your viewpoint on that. I would say to everyone that is looking at what's going on with Tron and Sun Pump, that if something like this were to come to Shibarium, a pump platform similar to Pump.fun or Sun Pump, all roads lead through Bone Crusher, because it would stand to reason that either Bone or some other token is going to be used on the Shibarium network as gas, the same way that TRX is being used or the way that Solana is used on Pump Fund. And it would also stand to reason that if all the TVL is coming from locked Bone on this side, then it's going to be K9 specific products that are probably being used there. So that's not financial advice. And remember, I'm just a dude behind the K9 account talking game. I'm not the K9 devs. I'm just a guy. But if I were paying attention, that would be where I was focused, because I would see that there would be no way that wouldn't run through Bone Crusher or some version of what K9 has to offer. Because if we're the masters of TVL on Shibarium, which is a thing I just made up, which is what we are now, and we'll put the He-Man memes out when I get done. It'll be Buzz's face on He-Man and masters of the TVL. That's where they have to come through us. We're the gatekeepers of that TVL. So I appreciate your views on that. I also appreciate, I always say this, the willingness of you guys to talk about subjects that may not just be Shib or K9 related, because a lot of spaces wouldn't even touch it. But we're all part of this larger ecosystem. We are everything from Bitcoin to shitcoin and everything in between, because everything that happens here influences us, and we have the ability to influence those things. Before I start the final roundups and saying goodbye to everyone, because we have a full speaker panel and I got to get the hell out of here. Before we go, did I miss anything with anybody? Turtle, are we good on all of your updates? I think we got everything. Buzz, are we good?
Maybe Shima a couple minutes to just talk about the hackathon stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks, Buzz. It's been super exciting. So we had 31 submissions that we ran through a first review this morning, and we've narrowed it down to our favorite 5. So we're going to be sort of deliberating over exactly which ones are winning which prizes, but I'm really excited to reach out to the developers behind these 5 projects and try to encourage them. This is a hackathon. It's let's slap something together and make it work as fast as possible. But I think that's, move fast and break things is the best way to build things in Silicon Valley. Maybe not quite the best way to build things on blockchain, but it is a great way to kickstart a project in the blockchain. So hopefully I can reach out and get connected with some of these developers and really encourage them to keep building on Shibarium, keep integrating K9 products into their DeFi and other kind of Web3 applications. And there's a couple of cool projects that I think have some real business potential and could turn into something real. So I want to encourage this next generation of developers and the really kind of star developers we saw standing out in our applications. And hopefully, I know how tough it can be when you're trying to try something new. And I think from participating in the Consensus Hackathon myself back in May, a lot of it is, undergrad students. The hackathons do a lot of outreach to these undergrad students. And I can think back to, 10 plus years ago when that was me and how confusing the world can be. So just having some people to really encourage you and mentor you and tell you're on the right track. I'm excited to talk to these developers and super thrilled by the submissions we got. So I think it's a great way to get a lot of exposure for K9 and the team. Like, I did not expect 31 submissions. That was way more than we ever expected. I think the hackathon, we can say it's a great success. And next week, maybe I can highlight who the winning projects were.
And next week, we're going to start talking about bringing some of these people on as well, not just to highlight who they were, but get some discussions with them, bring them on, like I said, lift them up from the inside, social appraisal, so social appreciation, clapping and stuff like that. We're definitely going to do that. So this will be like the final teaser. We're really that close to the end. You guys are wrapping up the hackathon. Final submissions have been turned in and they're combing through it now. So I appreciate that. We're going to start our final wrap-ups. I'm going to touch with everybody that's still in the speaker spot, and then we're going to wrap it up and get out of here. And I'm going in no particular order from the bottom up of my list. 2% you have represented 2% of my speaking time today, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, man. How are you on the way out the door? Don't leave me hanging, man.
He's 2% responding.
He's 2% AFK. I'm going to get him so hard in my personal group after this for missing out on my go away message. Watch, he's going to come running back because he hurt himself. Maya, on the way out the door, thank you for pulling into Spaces today. Where can everybody find you next?
I am going to be on Twitter, on X. I'm here 24/7, posting 10 times a day. And I'm going to be with Shib and K9 brainstorming ShibaCon.
Yep, guys, follow Maya, follow her for her IRL events, and watch for ShibaCon because I'm sure she's not going to miss it at all. Entropy, on the way out the door, what are your final thoughts? Check 1, 2. Entropy, are you there? You never know.
Sorry about that. My computer was just being really slow. I just continue to be super excited about this project. It's not like a lot of the stuff out there right now. The fact that this team is so tight, the community is so active, and the product is like really exciting just makes me happy every time I'm in Spaces.
I appreciate you pulling up more and more often. We're going to get more updates. Remember, guys, go on the website and look for the button down at the bottom to get started, and stay tuned in for posts from her about how you can get more interested and organized together. Shima, before we go, I appreciate you. Final thoughts?
I guess my final thought is a little unsolicited promotion, but I saw Bad Idea is launching on Weeks Exchange in a couple days. And as a WXT holder, I got to commit, so I'm going to get some free tokens. So I'm just excited. Congrats, guys, on that milestone.
Dude, I'll be sure to pass that along. Weeks has been awesome to work with as far as integrating with what Shibarium is doing. They've been really easy to work with. And Bad, I think it's going to be next week that it goes live. So thank you for bringing that up. Funk, on the way out the door, final thoughts before we go?
Man, I'm just excited about the DeFi market. I see... Bone is kind of turning around. I see some of the altcoins outperforming ETH for a second. So I see all that. I see tons of developers, everyone with their heads down. Everyone's working harder than they ever have because everyone's expecting a big fall. I'm super excited about K9. I had some more updates for y'all today with marketing on my end, but that's okay. We ran out of time, but maybe next week I'll get to them. But anyway, just always excited to work with the K9 community. Thank you so much to the whole DAO for everything that you guys do for us.
Turtle, final thoughts, bud.
Well, you got us 2 forum signups today with your spiel, so I thought that was great. Got 2 new members in already. It'd be great to get a 3rd by the time we wrap up. So everyone remember, participating does contribute towards the retroactive airdrop. So voting, being active in the forum, etc. That's probably my final thought. Buzz, I know, has some teasers he could leave out with up his sleeve, but I'll leave that up to him.
I don't know. I get confused when people tell me that I have teasers because I never know what is a teaser and what I have said and what I haven't said and what hasn't been announced. They should just really mute my...
That's funny. He mutes himself.
I have a teaser then, and this is, sorry, Buzz and Turtle and everyone to surprise you, but I built a little whale reward last night, so we're going to talk about it and should launch that soon. So keep your eyes posted if you're a K9 whale.
That's crazy. I don't even know what to make of that, so I'll just let that hang in the air. Adam, you've been up there the whole time. Before we go, final thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to say great space. Wasn't able to join last week's kind of recap after the event, but really nice to get to meet so many K9 whales and folks in the SHIB ecosystem. I just kind of wanted to echo some of the sentiment of being excited about having that, tool or set of tools to bring people into Shibarium. Funk and I were talking this morning on a space we got into with Tap Protocol, and they're building on Lightning, but still they were super excited about what we're doing here on Shibarium. And I think it really just does come down to that, right? Having 1, 2, maybe more things that people are actually going to use that bring them real value, and having that just resonate, it brings people. So that's just my kind of view on things. And I think it's getting the 1s and 2s in, and it's going to start to accelerate.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Buzz, last words before we shut her down?
Yeah, I think first would be to use the testnet, help us out. It's we always really appreciate it, and second is just that we're starting to work now on the 2025 roadmap. It's I don't know exactly when we're going to be getting it out, but it's a pretty exciting time to be looking at us pretty much at the finish line for what our initial light paper was to create for K9. Now that September 18th is coming up quickly, and we've had some time to build some other exciting products that are going to be launching soon as well. And 2025 is going to be really exciting. So just excited to get that out there and just starting the groundwork now.
Looking forward to 2025 already, you guys. Stay tuned for more information about the roadmap. Stay tuned for another Spaces 7 days from now. It's going to be number 32, weekly DAO updates, 32 in a row. We're going to do it again on the K9 account. I appreciate everybody that showed up, everybody that left a comment down in the bottom right, and all of the people that came in to speak. We couldn't do the shows without you guys that come in and be speakers for us. And particularly, thank you to the SHIB account, man. I didn't know if you were ever going to shut up. Jesus, it's great having you up here as a speaker, but it's overwhelming sometimes with all the things you chime in with. I appreciate you, bro, for coming in and hanging out with K9 again. And it was super good to meet you at ETH Toronto. I know I've said that already, but I wanted to say it here too, because K9 account got to meet the SHIB account. I thought that was kind of cool to bring up. Very cool to have a Spaces, guys. See you next time, same place, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the K9 Finance account for another weekly DAO Update Spaces. Have a great day, guys. I appreciate you.